So in today's session, we will see which are the MOS device models. Let us solve one example for this figure. Draw the layout of the circuit shown in the following figure. Now we need to draw the layout of the circuit consisting of three transistors M1, M2 and M3. So let us start that. The solution. Let me draw the circuit. We have M1 transistor, we have M2 transistor. This is the point N, E, A, B, C, transistor M3 and F. These two are short circuited. Now to draw the layout, first let us mark drain and the source of the transistor. For the N transistor, we need to mark drain to source. If it is a P transistor, we need to mark source to drain. Now all these three transistors are the N transistors. Therefore, this is drain, this is source, drain, source, drain, source. Since all these three are N transistors, it has to start from the N diff, that is N diffusion. N diffusion. And whenever the polysilicon passes over the diffusion, it forms the transistor. Since three transistors are required, we need to have three polysilicon layers representing each of the transistor. This is with respect to M1 transistor. This is with respect to M2 transistor, and one more is with respect to M3 transistor. So for M1 transistor, the first point is E. Let us mark this as E point. The next point is C, and C is common for both M1 and M2 transistor, whereas this point is N and this point is F. Let us mark drain and the sources for each of the transistor. This is M1 transistor, this is M2 transistor, and this is M3 transistor. So let us start from this point. So this indicates the drain of the M1 transistor, this indicates the source of the M1 transistor. See, next, source of M1 transistor is to be shorted with drain of M2 transistor. Therefore, this should be the drain of M2 transistor, and other end has to be the source of the M2 transistor. Look here, the source of M2 transistor should be shorted with source of M3 transistor, and through this common diffusion, both the sources can be short circuited. Therefore, we have to represent this as source of M3 transistor, and the other end is the drain of the M3 transistor. Make the interconnections, check for the interconnections. If already they are existing, then you need not have to make any connection. If any of the connection is not existing, then you have to make that connection. This source and drain, M1 source and M2 drain, M1 source and M2 drain already short circuited by the common diffusion. So this connection, both the sources are short circuited. We are left with only this connection where the source drains junctions of M1 and M2 transistors has to be short circuited with gate terminal of the M3 transistor. So where is this point? This is this point. So let us take the contact cut. This has to be short circuited with the polysilicon gate of the M3 transistor. This is the polysilicon gate of the M3 transistor. So I am drawing a very rough figure just to make you understand. Poly contact. Whenever there has to be a connection with respect to the polysilicon, we should have the poly contact. Through the metal connection, these two are short circuited. Now we have made this connection. So this is E, where again through the contact cut it is going to E. So again here also through contact cut this connection goes to F, and through the poly contact here these are to the input terminals of the transistors A and B. And one more is N connection. Again here through the contact cut this goes out as N connection. This is the layout of the circuit given in the figure. You see here. This is the end if M1, M2, M3 transistors are laid there, means the polysilicons for M1, M2 and M3. And this figure is same as this figure. This connection gives this connection, whereas these A, B and N terminals are taken out. This is the E terminal and this is the F terminal. So this is how we can draw the layout for the analog circuits. Next is the MOS capacitances. See, there exist the capacitance between every two terminal of the MOS transistor. This is a gate terminal, this is the drain terminal and this is the source terminal. The capacitance between the gate and the drain is called as CGD. The capacitance between the gate and the source is called as CGS, and as well as there is a bulk terminal. Therefore, the capacitance between drain and the bulk is known as the CDB. Similarly, the capacitance between the source and the bulk is CSB. The capacitance between the gate and the bulk is CGB. If you look into the physical structure for the MOS device capacitances, it represents so many capacitances: C1, C2, C3, C4, C5 and C6. We identify the different capacitances. The first capacitance is oxide capacitance between the gate and the channel. When the MOS is conducting, the channel is formed between the source and the drain. This is conducting layer. Polysilicon gate is a conducting layer. In between we have the silicon dioxide. Therefore C1 represents the oxide capacitance. So the first capacitance, oxide capacitance between gate and the channel, that is C1, that is this C1 is equal to WL into Cox. Why this WL into Cox? Cox is the oxide capacitance. This oxide capacitance is per unit area. So we have to consider the entire area of the gate of the transistor. If you see the structure of the MOS transistor, that is three-dimensional structure. It is like this. This gives the length of the transistor, whereas this indicates the width of the transistor. Our channel is present throughout the width of the transistor. Therefore, what is the area of this gate? It is width into the length of the transistor. And this oxide capacitance Cox represents the capacitance per unit area. Therefore, we have to take the entire area, which is width multiplied by length multiplied by the oxide capacitance. This gives the oxide capacitance between the gate and the channel. Second is the C2 capacitance. Depletion capacitance. Between channel and the substrate. The depletion layer is formed here. This is conducting layer and substrate is a conducting layer. Depletion layer acts as a oxide. Therefore, this C2 represents depletion capacitance, and that can be given as C2 is equal to W into L square root of Q epsilon Si N sub divided by 4 phi f. The third capacitance is due to the overlap of the gate poly with the source and the drain areas. Look here, C3 and C4. These are the capacitances which overlap on the source and the drain areas. Therefore, C3 and C4 are known as the overlap capacitances. The overlap capacitance per unit width is denoted by COV. Then we have C5 and C6 as the junction capacitances. We have seen the junction capacitances are of two types. One is the bottom plate capacitance and another one is the sidewall capacitance. The bottom plate capacitance associated with the bottom of the junction, and that is represented as Cj. It is with respect to the bottom of the junction, whereas the sidewall capacitance is due to the perimeter of the junction, and that is represented as CjSW. Cj is a capacitance per unit area and CjSW is per unit length. This is the bottom plate capacitance and this is the sidewall capacitance. In summary, we can tell that C1 is the oxide capacitance, C2 is the depletion capacitance, C3 and C4 are the overlap capacitances, C5 and C6 are the junction capacitances. So these are the MOS device capacitances. Let us solve one problem. Read the problem and look into the structure. What we have here? Single N transistor and there are two N transistors. What the problem statement says, calculate the source and the drain junction capacitances of the two structures shown in the following figure. This is one structure and this is the another structure. This is a single transistor. This single transistor is folded. See, when we fold, this is just like a single transistor. When we fold like this, this structure resembles that. It is folded. So when this is folded, this is the polysilicon gate and the drain terminal is in between and this forms the source terminal. The short circuited path of this forms the source terminal. I hope you are understanding it. This is just folded. Therefore, the polysilicon gate is also folded like this. The center one is the drain terminal and these shorted is the source terminal. Now we need to find out what is the capacitance of the first diagram as well as the second diagram. Solution. For the transistor, of the first figure, CdB is the drain to bulk, CSB is the source to bulk capacitance, is given as WECJ plus 2 times W plus E into CJSW. This distance is known as E, this is W. So we have, for a single transistor like this, CdB CSB is given as WECJ plus 2 times W plus E into CJSW. Now the second diagram is the folded structure of the first diagram. Now how the second diagram is different from the first diagram? See here, this W is, since divided, the width of the entire transistor, here it is W and here it is W by 2. Now if we substitute W by 2 in place of W in this equation, we get the capacitances with respect to the second diagram. For the second figure, CdB, that is drain to bulk. Remember, the center one is the drain terminal here and the two sources are short circuited. I told you this is folded like this, therefore the center is taken as the drain terminal and these two are the source terminal. CdB is given as, what is W now? W is W by 2 E Cj plus 2 times, again W is W by 2 plus E into CJSW. So let us write the equation of the source to bulk capacitance. Since there are two source terminals which is short circuited like this, therefore we have to take it as 2 into bracket W by 2 E Cj plus 2 times W by 2 plus E into CJSW. This comes out to be WECJ plus 2 times W plus 2E into CJSW. Now look into the drain to bulk capacitance of the first figure and drain to bulk capacitance of the second figure. If you compare this equation with this equation, where the capacitance is reduced? The capacitance is reduced when the structure is folded like this. So here for CdB it is WECJ and 2 into W plus E into CJSW. Whereas for the second figure CdB is given as W by 2. So there it is reduced by half. Width is reduced by half. So total drain to bulk capacitance is reduced when the structure is folded like this. Therefore, this example is demonstrated. When we have the entire W, the capacitance is more. When the structure is folded, the capacitance reduces. So when we go for the layout, we have to think what type of the layout has to be used for the better performance. Next we are studying what is the variation of the gate source and gate drain capacitances versus VGS. Let us consider this figure only. Okay. Where we have different capacitance. C1 is oxide capacitance, C2 is a depletion capacitance, C3, C4 are the overlap capacitances, C5 and C6 are the junction capacitance. Now, the value of these capacitances vary depending upon in which mode the transistor is operating. Either it may be operating in the cutoff region, or it may be operating in the triode region, or it may be operating into the saturation region. So accordingly we have to write the equation for the capacitances. When the device is off, if the device is off, when the device is off, then what happens? There is no inversion layer present between the source and the drain. Then we have the gate to drain capacitance and gate to source capacitance, CGD is equal to CGS, which is equal to, it is only the overlap capacitance COV multiplied by the width. There is no channel formed, so the gate capacitance CGD is equal to CGS is equal to only the overlap capacitance, that is COV multiplied by W. And what about these two capacitances, C1 and C2? The gate bulk capacitance consists of the series combination of the gate oxide capacitance and the depletion region capacitance. So we have these two capacitances, C1 and C2 capacitances, connected in series. Write the equivalent of that equation. Then we get it as CGB is equal to, that is gate to bulk capacitance. CGB is equal to, these two are in series, so C1 into C2 divided by C1 plus C2. Now what is the equation of the C1? C1 equation we have written it as WL into Cox. Then the depletion, C2 is nothing but it is the depletion region capacitance CD divided by WL Cox plus CD, where L is the effective length and CD equation is given as W into L square root of Q epsilon SI N sub divided by 4 phi f. Next is, if the device is in deep triode region, it means that in the deep triode region, the inversion layer is formed between the source and the drain. Then the gate capacitance is equally divided between the source as well as the drain. Therefore, we have CGS is equal to CGD is equal to the equation with respect to, that is half of the gate capacitance. The gate channel capacitance is given as WL multiplied by Cox. This WL Cox is equally divided between the drain and the source terminals. Therefore, we have CGD is equal to CGS is equal to WL Cox divided by 2 plus, of course, the overlap capacitance will be there, which is represented as W multiplied by COV. Next, if it is in the saturation region, if the device is in saturation region, a MOSFET exhibits drain gate capacitance of roughly W into COV. Why it is only W into COV? Because in the saturation region, there is no continuous channel present between the source and the drain. There is a pinch off of the channel taking place. Therefore, if you consider the drain, it is only the overlap capacitance, and that is represented as W into COV. Now there is a channel which is beginning from the source, and there is a pinch off point somewhere at this point, and that can be approximated as CGS can be approximated as 2 times W into L effective Cox divided by 3 plus W into COV. See, look here, in the saturation region, the drain capacitance is only W into COV, whereas the gate to source capacitance is approximated as 2/3 of W L effective into Cox plus the overlap capacitance W into COV. All these together we can represent in a graph which is shown in this figure, that is the variation of gate source and gate drain capacitance versus VGS. This is VGS, and the three regions are shown. This is off region, this is saturation region, and this is the triode region. If you see the saturation region, what is CGD? CGD is only the overlap capacitance. So therefore it is almost shown as a straight line. And what about CGS? CGS is shown as 2/3 of W L effective Cox plus W into COV. Therefore, this CGS increases till this value. Now, in the triode region, how CGS and CGD are related? They are equally divided into 2. See, in triode region, CGD is equal to CGS is equal to WL Cox divided by 2 plus W into COV. Therefore, in the triode region, the graph is represented like this, and the capacitance equation is WL Cox by 2 plus W into COV. This is how we can represent the various capacitances, MOS capacitances with respect to VGS. Thank you.